get down.
What's up guys, I'm Mike Woods, and this is why tattoos are so expensive. So the tattoo industry has come a very long way in a very short amount of time. More people are getting tattooed now than ever before. The types of tattoos that are being done now are more artistic based than ever before. Things that were once thought not possible are now being done on a daily basis due to new technologies. People coming into the industry with artistic backgrounds, it's amazing. With the evolution of tattooing, the evolution of cost has changed as well. So whenever I started tattooing about 14 years ago, the industry rates were around $100 to $150 an hour. For custom work, flash work was priced by the piece. For those of you guys who don't know, flash is whenever you go into a tattoo studio and you see a rack of images on the wall, something very easy for you to choose from. You just say, yeah, I want that skull with crossbones and a little butterfly on the forehead. They give you a price for it, it's a flat rate, and then you get it tattooed and then you're out the door. Custom work, since I've been tattooing, has been different. It's been by the hour. Now the industry rates are about $150 an hour to $250 an hour, depending on who you get tattooed by, where in the country you're getting tattooed, and how long the person has been tattooing. Now let me say, one of the things that you need to really understand going forward if you're thinking about getting a large custom piece is that tattoos are very expensive. They are a luxury item. They are not necessary. Whenever you go into the process of thinking about getting a tattoo, factoring in the cost is something that everybody should do. Now, factoring in the cost is not price shopping. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not price shop whenever it comes to custom tattoos or tattoos in general. You want to shop for the work that you're looking for the quality of work, the style, and the artist that is going to be best suited for your design. I can't stress that enough. One of the biggest mistakes that new people to the tattoo industry make is that they don't factor in the cost of it and why tattoos are so expensive. They think of tattoos as like an intangible thing that's just being put on their skin. So they think cheaper the better. That is never the case whenever you're doing something as permanent as tattooing. So factor in the cost. Tattoos are expensive. Budget for them. It's really important. So one of the reasons that there is such a fluctuation in rates, it varies on a lot of different things. Number one, the economic standard of living and the area in the country that you're getting tattooed. For example, if you get tattooed in a place like New York and then you get tattooed in a place like Buffalo, the cost is gonna be drastically different because of the cost of living, the economic standards that are set in place for that specific area. Number two, cost of materials to the artists. Any reputable tattoo artist out there is going to be using the best quality of machines, needles, and pigments that are on the market today. Each individual setup that we use, depending on the artist, like for me personally, each setup that I use for tattooing, whenever it comes to barrier protection, the different type of ink caps that we have to use, the different ointments that we use to control swelling, soaps, inks, cartridges that we use, otherwise known as needles, the machines, everything. Each individual setup calculates to around $60 each time we set up. Now that can go up and down depending on who you're getting tattooed by. But higher cost of materials, higher cost in tattooing. Number three, probably the biggest thing that affects the cost of a tattoo, and it is by far the most important thing to factor in when getting a tattoo, artistic skill set and experience. Whenever you get tattooed by somebody, you're not just paying for a service, you're paying for years of artistic effort, years of honing in the technique that is tattooing. Contrary to popular belief, tattooing is absolutely nothing like drawing on paper. It's nothing like it. It is significantly more difficult. You have to factor in the medical aspect of it because it is most definitely a medical procedure. There are bodily fluids being ejected from the skin. You have to worry about cross-contamination, sharps protection, Sharps knowledge. There's tons of different factors that vary into that. On top of that, you're paying for years of artistic learning and effort that have been put into learning how to artistically create a beautiful piece of artwork. Tattooing rates are going to go up or down based on how good the artist is, to put it in layman's terms. Let's just face it, okay? You get what you pay for. Most of the time, cheap tattoos are gonna be shitty tattoos. The longer an artist has been tattooing, the more their rate is gonna go up. That is the same way with any other type of trade industry out there. Yes, rates generally stay in the same bubble, like the same realm of cost, but it's still gonna be more expensive based on skill, quality of tattooing, and years in the actual industry. All of those things are good for you. It means you're going to get a better tattoo. If you get tattooed by somebody that's been tattooing for like 10 years, you're more than likely going to get a lot better of a tattoo than, say, if you got tattooed by somebody that's only been tattooing for 2 years. One of the other things that we deal with as artists is people, for lack of a better term, being cheap. Okay, like I said earlier, they think of it as an intangible purchase. If you look at it in a psychological way, whenever you go and you purchase something at a store, like new shoes, a stereo, TV, something, it is a tangible purpose. You can grab it, you can touch it with your hands, you can play with it. You have that stimulation in your brain telling you that you just gave somebody something and then they gave you something in return. Tattooing is not that way, and psychologically speaking, most people who are cheap don't look at it that way. They look at it as a novelty service that's like, it's just a tattoo, it's no big deal. Wrong. That shit is on your body for the rest of your life. It is an investment. Spend the money on it. I cannot stress this enough. Spend the money on it. If you do not, and you are cheap, you are going to get a tattoo that you are more than likely going to need or want to fix later on down the line. That's just the way it is. I have yet to see somebody decide to get a really, really cheap tattoo and they absolutely love it for the rest of their life. Most of the time, they're really stoked on it for about a year. And then after that, they hear all of their friends saying, dude, your tattoo kind of sucks. You should go talk to this guy and he'll fix it for you. Then they decide, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and spend the money and get it fixed. Newsflash, cover-ups and reworks 9 times out of 10 cost more because us as artists don't like to do that shit. That's not necessarily true. I know a couple of guys that love doing cover-ups and love doing fixes, but the majority of us don't. So spend the money the first time around, you'll save money in the end. As I said, it is an investment. Okay, let's look at it this way. Let's look at it this way. The average person in the United States right now lives roughly around 80 years. That's the life expectancy for an average American. Now let's look at sleeves, okay? The average cost of a sleeve is anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000, okay? It can go up, it can go down, it just depends. There's a lot of variables involved, but that's roughly a calculation. Now, the average person that is getting sleeves in the United States right now is about 25 years old. So you take 80, you subtract 25, you get 55 years left. So if you divide the average cost of a sleeve, let's go on the expensive end, let's go crazy, 7 grand, okay? Again, can go up and down, public service announcement right there. Let's say $7,000, okay, divided over the course of those 55 years that that person has left remaining. If you calculate it down to the weekly cost of that tattoo over the rest of their lifespan, it calculates to roughly $2.44 a week. That's it. I would say that's a pretty sound investment, especially considering you're gonna be wearing something for the rest of your life. I've never understood it. People will invest tens of thousands of dollars into things that do not last, like wheels and tires for their cars, lifts for their truck. But whenever it comes down to the decision to get a tattoo, they go on the cheap side. Just be smart, invest in it. Tattoos are expensive, they're a luxury. You know, if you can't afford to get tattooed by the artists that you really, really wanna get tattooed by, just save your money, get tattooed by them. It doesn't matter how long it takes, it doesn't matter, you know, how long the project takes. Most artists are willing to work with you, you know, just save, be smart, make good purchases. Tattoos are permanent. All right, so I've had a few people asking what the current status of the studio is. This is it. We're moved in pretty much. I mean, none of the artwork really is on the walls. The TVs haven't been hung up. As you can hear, The sound in here is just terrible. The audio echo is awful because there is nothing on the walls. We would have been in here already, but this COVID-19 thing completely shut us down. For those of you guys that aren't in Texas, I mean, everything is shut down here just like in most other parts of the country. So we gotta be smart, we gotta be safe. We haven't been coming in, we haven't been tattooing. We're hoping that this COVID-19 thing blows over within the next month or so we can go ahead and do a full opening. As of right now, the governor is saying May 4th. So we will see. Just follow us on social media, guys. Keep an eye out for updates. If you guys have had appointments that have been rescheduled, please be patient with all of our artists. We will be getting back to you soon, I promise. Just bear with us. It's not a fun time for anybody, but we're gonna get through this, guys. Soon. Advent Tattoo is coming soon. Soon, 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 soon. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. So last little thing, be smart, make good decisions, don't be cheap on tattoos. I'm Mike Woods with Advent Tattoo, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.